Well, let's now talk about some on-the-field excitement coming up, and we touched on the finances of the Super game, but this attracting the Chiefs, who are going to be one of the high flyers. I think we all know that, against the Highlanders here. It's a must-see for fans here.
Oh, it'll be a great game. When we're really excited to have a quality game here. I think in the past we haven't had a traditional New Zealand derby, and that's going to be a great game. Chiefs Highlanders will be a very, very good game. The Chiefs obviously high flyers in Super Rugby and have been very, very successful in the last few years, so it'll be a very, very good game.
And by that time, hopefully, with the Highlanders having so many home games at the start, they've got a momentum, they've got points on the table. It could be an absolutely crucial clash.
Oh, it could be, and we're hoping it will be, because that'll increase the interest in the game.
And so too, if Sonny Bill stays fit, because there's no question he's going to draw 2,000-3,000 extra people.
Oh, he will, and you saw that last year when he fronted up for counties. The crowd that was there was phenomenal, and that was basically around Sonny Bill. It's a pity they didn't bring him here.
He wanted to come. He did want to come. He was stopped from coming. Let's look at the crowd numbers we do need, because they're averaging 16,000 over in Forsyth Bay. We need a good crowd here to say that we want Super Rugby here, just occasionally, don't we? We need the numbers.
We do, and we need to really pack the ground. If we filled this ground, we're looking at probably 17,000 people. We need to get to that sort of level so that we can show the Highlanders that it's worthwhile coming here.
And the timing of it, it's Queen's birthday weekend. It's not traditionally one where people go away a lot, so it could be the highlight of your Queen's birthday weekend.
Well, it could be, and it's a Saturday night game, so it's a great time. So I think it'll be a good attraction, and we're hoping that the weather looks after us and we pull a good crowd.
And let's look ahead to the Stags. Contract-wise, how many players have we got sort of locked in at the moment? I know it's early days.
We've got 13 players locked in at the moment, and most of those are our key players that we wanted to have on board. So, and some of them were continuing contracts. So at this stage, 13. We are obviously looking at a couple of other key players that we want to sign at the moment, we're negotiating with. And that will probably be it until club season. So that the next, we have to contract 26 as a minimum. So there's space there for people to compete for positions through the club rugby.
Well, that's healthy, isn't it? Because it tells the club players that's still an avenue for getting NBC. We're not just going to Auckland Grammar and picking out the best players, although some of them have already been taken.
Young guys in sevens.
Yeah, he is quite good, yeah.
No, we want to do that because we want to have that avenue for our premier players to actually be able to make the team. So and we have had some players move here to try and get spots, so that's good, and that's good for club rugby.
Now, that's proved quite a successful mechanism, because they tell their friends, don't they, if you're in the second tier at maybe Canterbury and not getting a look in, that's typically go down to South and maybe have a chance there.
That's right, and we do provide that opportunity, and it's a good pathway for some of those boys.
Is there interaction between the provinces at your level to say, look, we've got a player here we can't fit in, does anyone want him type thing, or is it always down to the individual to perhaps tread their own path?
It's probably more down to the individual to tread their own path. We work fairly closely with Otago, so if there's players that, we'll discuss the players, and we work with the Highlanders as well, so they may have a player that they are interested in, maybe not for this year but for next year, and they'll talk to us and Otago whether we have a spot for them.
And you've shown good flexibility recently. I understand with Tim Boys, you have to play a part there in releasing him, but it was a great chance for him, and you obviously patted him on the back and wished him the best of luck. Yeah,
no, look, Tim's a great guy, great Southlander. He will come back to us, which is good. But you've got to let a guy go and experience the world and have another opportunity. So we think it's great for Tim.
How much time before you nail down that 26-man squad? Have you got? Is there a cut-off date, or is it just as long as it's done prior to the season?
It's prior to the season. We have to have our 26 named and to New Zealand Rugby 2 weeks prior to the ITM Cup starting. So that's beginning of August, basically.
A lot of talk about Wednesday games, the merit or not thereof. What's your feeling on that? What's the future of them?
I think they're here to stay. At the moment, you get one home Wednesday game every second year, so they've softened that a little bit. Wednesday games don't work for us.
Tough sell.
Tough sell, very tough sell, but they do work for some other unions. So some other unions say that they get a better crowd on their Wednesday games, which is a bit amazing to me, but it works for them. It definitely doesn't work for us.
I suppose the other balancing act this year is also with the World Cup. I know it's on the other side of the world, but there's that to fit into the calendar this year too, so it's a bit of an unusual year.
It is, and the World Cup will be running at the same time as the ITM Cup, towards the latter stages of it anyway, so there'll be a bit of crossover there. Obviously you won't get your All Blacks here, so there's no opportunity for the All Blacks or the actual World Cup team to play ITM Cup.
Now I'm going to look way ahead in the future, not that far. 2017, there's a Lions tour coming.
Yes.
And I'm sure that the planning has begun because it'll be even bigger than the last one. It'll be up to World Cup sort of interest. Southland game, any possibility?
We're hopeful. We put in a very good proposal. We worked with the councils and Venture Southland and presented a proposal for Southland. Like, what we wanted to do was promote Southland and the catalyst as a rugby game in Invercargill. So we've worked very hard on that. We've put together a very, very good document which has been sent to New Zealand Rugby. We should know by the end of March, early April, what our chances are. The other thing with that proposal, we also put in for a test match in 2016. So that's Wales or Argentina.
Right. And your feeling on that prospect? Is it a good case?
We've put a pretty good case, and we're looking at the fact that they'll be coming south, and traditionally the Lions have liked playing in Southland, and we've had a good record against the Lions. So a lot of this goes back to the Lions, is where they want to play. So we're hopeful that we'll be in a good position.
And for both the test match and for the Lions games, you'd need temporary seating, wouldn't you, at the end of this, like have we seen before? Yeah,
we'd have to put up some temporary seating at the ends and extend it off the current stadium. So we'd need that, yeah.
So that Lions tour will be confirmed within the next month for the entire tour, or you just know for your particular game?
I'll be pretty much for the entire tour. All provincial unions had to put in, or were asked to put in a bid for it, and also the Super Rugby teams. So it's a little bit different this time because the Super Rugby teams put in as well. So
okay, to play some, okay. Yeah,
so they'll probably play one or two Super teams. Mm-hmm. So I think there was 7 games up for grabs. That brings it down to 5.
5 provincial teams you're fighting over. So the total tour length will be about 11, 12 games, is it?
Yeah, 10 games.
10 games, is it?
So it's 3 test matches.
Right.
All right, and we think that, obviously the tests will be in the major centres. And we think in Auckland, Wellington, Otago, Dunedin. So because I don't think Christchurch will be ready for that. And so we're hopeful that we'll get a spin-off off that, either a super game or a provincial union game.
It's amazing how things have changed. I recall somebody up north saying that Otago would be too small for test matches. Now they can't wait to have them there. That's right. Might be something to do with the fact that it holds a lot of people and the players love playing there.
Oh, they do, and it's a great facility. You don't have the impact of the weather, which is great. It's a fast track, so there's good opportunity to play open flowing rugby.
Is that an advantage for us by having the test match presumably so close that will help or hinder Southland a bit because they've already played down this part of the country?
Yeah, I think it will help. We think that from that there's a spin-off down to us. So we're thinking a midweek game in between. Oh, yeah, good thinking.
Yeah. That'll help, and I think, and we'll just stress once again too, the need for people to turn up to the games prior to helps with your bid chances, isn't it?
Oh, that's right, and obviously we need to solve the situation around Rugby Park as well.
It's hard to hold a Lions tour at Les George.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we could do it, but...
That's right. You book your tickets early.